I haven't had meat for 3 weeks now, and I'm not saying I'm vegetarian, vegan, plant-based, anything like that. Welcome to season 2. So thank you for everybody who watched season 1. Massive learning curve, really enjoyed it, like sharing my training, and that added a little bit of pressure for race day. Really helped motivate me, helped us keep going when things got tough, so that was really appreciated, so thank you for that. So for season 2 we're going to up the ante. We're going to have another shot at sub 2:45. After we got that out of the way, we're going to go and try and do the Highland Fling, a 53-mile ultramarathon race up in the Highlands in Scotland. So that should be good fun. Really looking forward to that as a group of us going over. I'm hoping to finish top 10. I did the Lakeland 50 about, when was it, 2 years ago, and managed to finish 8th, which was a massive shock at the time. I've got other things lined up as well. So I've got the Brass Monkey half marathon in January. That's about 7 weeks or so away. Gonna try and attempt for a PB, see what happens with that. Didn't go to plan Vale of York before I did Frankfurt. That half marathon, I've dipped under 120, but a little bit disappointed. In the run of PB I need to find 1:16.19, so yeah, we'll see what happens. But and then I've got a few other races lined up. We've got a few exciting things. I've got some new toys, so I've got a new drone, I've got an Insta360 Go, so I've got a race camera, so at the races I'll be able to get more footage and give you more of an insight into how I'm feeling and what's going on in the race. We've got some plans for what we're going to do with the drone. We're going to go and run part of the Lakeland 50 course. We're going to go to the top of Fustill and hammer it down. Me and Dan, we're going to race down, basically see who's the fastest. We've got one or two other fun things. I've got a challenge coming up where I'm going to race a bus. So yeah, lots to come. Really looking forward to it. Looking forward to sharing it with you. And if you've got any feedback, by all means drop it in the comments. If you've got any thoughts on daft things we can get up to, feel free to subscribe, like them. Yeah, really appreciate it. So let's get into running and see how the first week went. Oh, pleased to get that in. Just finished a 4-mile tempo. First mile or so was quite good, then I turned a corner into a headwind, so it became a bit more difficult. So I was working a bit harder than I wanted to in sort of the second half of the tempo, but I stayed strong and I felt like I could still pick it up some more if I wanted to, if I needed to. So that was good, but the heart rate was getting towards sort of 90%. So sort of the top range of where I want to go. Surprised at where the tempos are straight after the marathon. So I've done 2 this week. I did a 4-mile tempo on Tuesday morning, Tuesday evening. That was around 6:02 I think average. Today I think is around about 5:58-ish, 5:59. So yeah, really happy with that. Like I say, I'm not really sure where that came from. Maybe change the diet, maybe the strength and conditioning I've been doing, but I had 2 weeks off straight after the marathon, so I'm not really sure, but I'm not going to complain because I'm over the moon with that. So I've got about 7 weeks, 6-7 weeks to go until the Brass Monkey half marathon, so that's a really good place to build on, to be in around 6-minute mile pace for tempos. I'm going to try and pick it up to sort of get up to 8 mile for the tempo before I do Brass Monkey, and if I can get down to sort of 5:55 in a tempo for 8 mile, I should be very close to PB shape. So what's the training plan for the next 5 months? To be honest, it's very similar to a marathon training plan. It's not like I'm going to be running any big mileage in training like for a single run. So the most I'll probably do is maybe 26. But what'll happen is I'll be doing stuff like back-to-back long runs. All my long runs are fasted, so I'll be working on stuff like that, but at the same time I'll need to introduce some real food long runs where I'm eating sort of sandwiches and stuff to get used to it. And then beyond that we'll still be doing tempos, we'll still be doing track, and the majority of the mileage will still be easy. That's what seems to work best for me. So it's like sort of 80-20, I'd say. 80% easy, 20% either tempo or speed work. To go with the drone and the Insta360 Go, there's another new addition to season 2. I'm sure everybody's considering this as well, but I watched Game Changers along with What the Health and 1 or 2 other food documentaries, and it did make us think, because diet is something I've thought about for a little while. In 2017 I basically smashed every single PB I had apart from the marathon. That was the year that Avery was born, and I was really strict with diet, so I was eating meat, veg for most meals. I was on nuts and fruit for snacks, so my diet was really clean, cleanest it's ever been, and I think that reflected in how well I was training and the times that I managed to run. That's always been something that's been in the back of my mind. I'm a lot more pushed for time these days, haven't been able to sustain that, and sometimes a bar of chocolate or something is much more satisfying. That's my weakness, chocolate. But after watching Game Changers, it sparked some curiosity, I guess, and I thought, if I drop meat, will it make much of a difference? Because the implications with meat, like cholesterol and all those sorts of things, there was a few tests, I'm not going to spoil it, but basically if you're interested, watch it, because there's a few tests that were kind of eye-openers for me. And yes, I know it's biased and everybody's always got an agenda, it just kind of opened my eyes. So there's a few things that I want to try. So I've dropped meat, so I haven't had meat for 3 weeks now, and basically we're just going to see how that affects me, really. So I'm going to be a bit of an experiment of one over the next 6 months. I'm not saying I'm vegetarian, I'm plant-based, I'm vegan, anything like that. I'm still having cheese, I'm still having milk, just not as much. So I tend to have milk and coffee, and we'll have cheese if we're like, depending on what we're having for tea. So for instance, we had macaroni and cheese yesterday. Not dropping them all together, and I will for Christmas dinner no doubt have turkey on my Christmas dinner. My wife's been a vegetarian for 13 years now, so that's not really an issue for me, because I've just seamlessly dropped into her diet, certainly at home, and then I've had to put a little bit of effort in at work. So I've been making like bean burritos, I've been having like a Sunday lunch effectively, but with a nut roast instead of meat. Switched out milk for things like porridge, and we're having oat milk. And to be honest, oat milk's fine, it really is. There's no issue at all there with oat milk, so I'm quite enjoying that. I have peanut butter and cacao powder with it. Ultimately, I can't really complain about it, so it's been quite an easy switch at the moment. I'm not really feeling any different. Whether or not this sudden surge in how I feel during tempo runs has anything to do with diet, I don't know. It might just be because I've been rested. But we will see as time goes on. So last week was about 56 miles. This week we've done just shy of 70, I think, maybe 67. We're going to keep building. We're going to push up towards 90 again, and we're going to add in some commuting, because I did a bit of commuting this week just because it's terrible to drive into work at the moment. In terms of first proper training week with a couple of tempos in for some intensity, it's going quite well to start with.